Welcome back, friends and followers and subscribers, to another review on Richter's Reviews. Today, I'm going to do something I've been wanting to do for a while now, and one of my friends on Facebook, her name is Sam. She, uh, I gave her some choices for me to pick a movie review. So, and Friday the 13th Part 3 and 3D is the one I choose. That she chose, so this is the one I'm going to review. So Friday the 13th Part 3, this is the 3D version. It also is in 2D. A lot of people may have seen it in theater when it came out in 1982. I didn't get to watch horror movies until 1989, So in 1989 was the very first time I saw Friday the 13th Part 3. I saw Part 1 and 2 in the same weekend, and then I saw 3 and 4 the following weekend. And in that time, I kind of felt a lot of love for the series, and as the series went on, and all the way up until 1990, I had seen all 7 of the films. So in 1990, when Friday the 13th Part 8 came out on VHS, I watched it too. Now, to make a long story short, Friday the 13th Part 3 is pretty much a continuation of the second movie. Second movie, basically, I've already talked it in another review. It ended with Jason crashing through the window, and you find out that it might have been all a dream between Jenny and Jason fighting. So in being a third movie, kind of opens up with Jason like in his little shack that he had in Part 2, and he's just lying there, and he starts to move, and then it picks up thereafter. Friday the 13th Part 3 was not my personal favorite of the series. I'm not knocking people that do like it, but for those that do like it, I respect that. And my favorite of the series was Part 6. But Part 3 does have a lot of good qualities about the film. The late Richard Brooker, who played Jason, played one of the best Jasons up to that point. No knocking Steve Dash or Warrington Gillette or Ira Lehman at this time, but to me, Richard Brooker was the best Jason at this time. And you had a great cast in this movie. A lot of the actors have been in a lot of 80s films. You have Dana Kimmel, who went on to play in Lone Wolf McQuade and had played in Sweet 16 before this. And you have Catherine Parks, who went on to play in Weekend at Bernie's. You have Larry Zerner, who this was his first movie role, and he went on to play in a couple other things. And you have, who else was in this cast? You have Tracy Savage, who had played on Little House on the Prairie. And you have kind of like a newcomer, Paul Kratka, who played in the movie as Dana Kimmel's somewhat boyfriend. And then you have the two stoner guys, stoner people in this movie. You have Rachel Howard and David Cattins. Sorry, getting thirsty in my voice. But yeah, a great cast of characters. You also have a very interesting aspect that Shelley, played by Larry Zerner, has like all these little things in his little bag that he brought with him because they're going on this little trip, which is Higgins Haven, which actually happens to be the Valzat movie ranch that ended up getting burnt down a couple 10, 15 years ago. And maybe it might have been longer than that, but anyway, they go to this Higgins Haven, where that movie ranch was at, which actually, if you ever seen the movie Twisted Nightmare, same exact movie ranch. And I think it was made in 1985, Twisted Nightmare was. So, to make a long story short, basically, the storyline continues at the beginning of the movie. You see Jason move around, and he goes to this little cabin, and he starts to kill these people in various ways. And like I was saying with Shelley, he has got this little hockey mask that he shows up with it later in the movie, and that's how Jason gets his trademark hockey mask, which went on through the numerous sequels thereafter, and which became part of a pop culture of Friday the 13th, Jason Voorhees. And like I said, now recently when I bought the Blu-ray and I watched the 3D, I could actually see some of the effects that was really cool to see come pop out of the screen a little bit. This probably would have been better to see it back in the theater when it came out in 1982. But it is what it is. And my rating for Friday the 13th Part 6, or excuse me, my rating for Friday the 13th Part 3, I would definitely give an 8. Excuse me. But like I said, Part 6 is my favorite, but I would give it an 8 because of the guy who played Jason, the late Richard Brooker, the Shelley character being like a prankster and bringing into the hockey mask to part of Jason persona, and a lot of the characters were really well acted, and Jeffrey Rogers was the other actor I forgot to mention. He was the boyfriend of Tracy Savage. And a little side note, there was these 3 bikers. You had Ollie, Fox, and I can't quite remember the other guy's name, but Loco. His name was Loco. And they kind of like Shelley and the girl Catherine Parks Vera, they end up going to this convenience store, and they end up getting entanglements with the biker gang, which the biker gang ends up going to following them and going to where that and trying to siphon their gas. Sadly, the late Gloria Charles, who played Fox, she's passed away as well. And Steve Miner, who directed Part 2, went on to direct this one. Steve Miner has went on to do a lot of other things. He did Dawson's Creek. He's done Lake Placid. He did Halloween H2O. And he really doesn't like to talk about the Friday the 13th 2 and 3. In the book that I have, the Crystal Lake Memories, as well as the DVD Blu-ray, he doesn't show up on there talking about it. I don't know if he was ashamed of the films or what, but yeah, he's pretty much just like not really wanted to talk about it. He didn't even really talk about that he actually helped on Friday the 13th 1 and Last House on the Left and a 1978 movie called Manny's Orphans. But later in his career, he went on to direct Warlock, and he did some family films, Wild Hearts Can't Be Broken, and Big Bully. But anyway, the story it's got some hilarious moments in the film. It has some gore in the movie, because back in the early 80s, kind of gore was like the thing then, and as the series went on, they just kept getting cut as far as the gore because of all the censors with the ratings board, and they really butchered Part 7. But so basically, after all the things happen, and then the two Chris, played by Dana Kimmel, ends up going up against Jason and axes him right in the forehead, which ends up being part of the mask too, because it went on through 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and yeah, basically, if I had to put it in the category of what I would rate, and as far as the 12 films that have been made, check out my my ranking of the Friday the 13th here on this channel, and you'll see where it ranks on that. But basically, on the other 2 Friday the 13th, I did 3 parts of the first one, and I did 2 parts of the second one. So this one I'm going to try to just do in one time. My voice keeps getting I gotta clear my voice. I drink some pop here. As you can see, Friday the 13th Part 3 at this point was probably the highest grossed of the series at the time. I think first one was right up and close to that. I think the fourth one was probably the highest grossed film, if you don't count inflation. And a lot of people cherish this movie. Like I said, you know, I respect everyone's opinions and everybody's likes or dislikes of the film. But for me, it definitely gets an 8 on the Richter scale. And so, but like I said, there's not many things I can say that that if I had made it or if I had what would make me like it more. Maybe the fact where they could have explained a little bit more of the backstory between Chris and Jason. All you really know in the movie is that she was sitting in the woods because she ran from the house, and Jason come up upon her and spooked her, and she ended up not knowing where she was at. I mean, they could have done a little bit more with that. And the other thing is maybe they could have made a better ending, because Jason's mother's head was beheaded, and she comes jumping out of the lake. Yeah, and you could put that as a dream sequence, because you see Jason without his mask running through the door and coming after her, and then he's not there. But in respect, I like the movie for what it was, and it's one that I always enjoy watching. And with the other two films, it was probably, to me, is better than the second one. The second one had its downfalls and had its good parts in the movie as well. But compared to the first one was definitely ranked higher than the third movie. And so hopefully you enjoyed this review. And for my friend Sam, who chose this movie for me to review, hopefully you enjoyed this review as well. And I will try to do another video next week, because I work Friday through Monday, and I'm going to try to do a video on Tuesday and Thursday, and I'll try to or Wednesday and Thursday, depending on how I feel and what I'm doing, if I'm busy or whatever. And but I wasn't busy today, so I went ahead and did it, and here you are. So if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you have any comments, leave them down below. If you wanted me to pick a movie of your choice, leave it down in the comments, and I'll try to do a review for that as well. So my name is Brad Richter, and this is Richter Reviews, and I will catch you on the next video.